And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go see our good friends at Hail Mary's. They'll get you taken care of. They're located in Cheviot. They're right on Harrison Avenue, so they're inside the Dora District. You can go from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. They've got the DirecTV Sports Package, so you can watch all the games, or you can just hang out and watch Cincinnati sports on that 9-screen video wall. Brand new walk-in coolers, brand new draft lines, and, of course, ice-cold Cincy Light in 32.8 degree frosted glasses. All right, Aaron, let's get this underway. It's an interesting week. We continue to get some separation in the tiers of the Big 12, I think, as we get into week 3. I'm getting ready to knock out my Big 12 weekly poll for 24/7 Sports this week, and there's definitely starting to become a top of the league. There's a middle of the league that I think we don't know a lot about yet. And then there's the bottom of the league that is not great. Not great, Bob.
Well, you say that, and one of those teams that I thought was there pulls off a win this week. So,
yeah, I throw out rivalry games, right? Anything can happen in a rivalry game, and Pitt is a disaster. We'll get to that. Pitt is.
We will.
Pat Narduzzi is not long for the train's coming down the tracks, and Pat Narduzzi has got a couple knots that I don't think he's going to be able to untie.
More like Pat Nardunzi, am I right?
Ouch. Let's get into it. Friday night, couple big games on Friday night, and we'll start with Houston 36-20 over Colorado. The Cougs looking pretty good. I think, they found a quarterback in Connor Wegman. The defense has been decent so far. I don't know that they're a team that's necessarily gonna, be a threat to play in the Big 12 championship game, but I'm starting to think they're definitely going to be a team that can hang around that middle and give teams some problems.
It was 16-14 at halftime in this game. And then Houston just pulled away.
They were just steady. 10 in the first quarter, 6 in the second quarter, 10 in the third quarter, 10 in the fourth quarter. Like that's kind of Willie Fritz football, right? They're just it's not a lot of peaks and valleys, as the Castellini family would say.
And I didn't know this about Connor Wegman, that he was a dual threat, but here we are with him being a dual. At least in this game. But at least in this game, he was 15-24 for 222, and then he goes 17 for 83 on the ground with 2 touchdowns. Things aren't so great post Shedeur in Colorado.
And we kind of knew this. Like that was a good team with Shedeur and Travis Hunter, but it wasn't a great team with Shedeur and Travis Hunter. You take out an NFL quarterback. Well, an NFL quarterback. Did you see the news today that came out that the Ravens were going to draft him?
Yeah, he said
he had a chance to go to one of the most stable organizations in the NFL, and he said, "No, I'm good. I want to go to the Browns."
What he didn't realize is in the NFL, you're only one snap away from being the guy.
Oh well. But yeah, Houston 3-0, 1-0 in the Big 12. So a nice one for them. I think we are at a point where we have to at least not consider Arizona an easy win. Aaron, I think everybody looked at them and thought they were going to be pretty bad this year. They're 3-0. It's not a Big 12 game, so it doesn't count in the standings, but they get a 23-17 win over Kansas State.
I won't say they're an easy win, but your 3 wins come against Hawaii, Weber State, and Kansas State. And I think this tells us more about Kansas State than it does about Arizona, and that is what we've been wondering, and now I think we can come to the conclusion that Kansas State is bad. Bad.
Yeah. They're not good. They had they had a long touchdown play to start the second half. And then Arizona turned it over and gave them a short field touchdown. And that was pretty much it for Kansas State. Like, their offense is dreadful right now. They're not good.
Avery Johnson goes 13 of 29 for 88 yards, 7 runs for negative 16 and a touchdown. He should maybe cut the hair and see if that reverse Samson's it gives him his powers back. I don't know.
Something.
Things are really, really bad right now in Manhattan.
Yeah. They are 1-3. And like I said, fortunately for them, this wasn't a Big 12 game, but it is not looking good in the Little Apple. Iowa State hangs on against the Fighting Butch Joneses, 24-16. I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass for this one.
Why?
It's been a pretty eventful first 3 games of the season. And then first, this is how broke their athletic department is. They keep taking these home and homes because they don't want to pay to buy teams to come play them in Ames. So they play at Arkansas State. You've already gone to Dublin. You've already beaten Iowa. I can see a case where you're just kind of overlooking this game and you play like crap on the road at Arkansas State, but it's not a great look for them.
No, and you're a top 15 team going into this game. Look, we've been there when we were, playing for the college football playoff, where look, a win is a win, and I'll give them that.
Yeah.
You won against a team that you should have probably won. You were 21.5-point favorites. I don't know if that opened at that or if it closed at that, but it's not a good look.
Yeah, 24-16. Arkansas State had a lead late in the second half, so not great, Bob, but they get the job done. They basically they just push the can down the road. We're going to start to find out a little bit more about them here soon. They've got Arizona coming up. I don't know if they've got a bye. They've got a bye somewhere between now and the UC game on October 4th, but Arizona's their next game. So we'll find out a little bit more about one of those teams, at least at that point. Utah.
Real quick. Rocco Beck looks more and more like a game manager to me. I don't think he's
for sure.
I don't think I can use the word very in front of good when describing Rocco Beck at this point.
He's good. He knows he doesn't make a bunch of mistakes, and he knows how to get his team across the finish line. That's what we've been saying about him the entire offseason, and he has done nothing to change opinions on that.
Correct. Utah,
Wyoming, 3-0 at halftime.
Crazy.
Again, why is Utah playing at Wyoming? Why?
Because they're not in the Big Ten, as their fans will tell you anytime you ask.
Yeah. Dampier, 27 of 41, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also had 13 carries for 86 yards. He is incredibly dynamic. Utah shut out Wyoming until the fourth quarter. Their defense is outstanding. I think their offense isn't going to have to do a whole lot. And I think I still think, Aaron, when I do this ballot, when we get done with this recording, I'm still going to have Utah at number 1. I still think they're the team to beat.
I will disagree. But okay. I think they are better than Iowa State. I feel confident saying that.
Yeah, if I was picking, if I was setting a line for those two, I'd have Utah favored probably by 3.5.
Utah versus Iowa State.
Yeah.
I think, Yeah, I think that's fair. I could take that.
Dampier's really good. Like, I think that's the difference there. I think Dampier, if I'm looking for a guy to change a game, I'm looking for Dampier before I'm looking at Rocco Becht.
Well, because I think Rocco Becht is kind of rises and falls on what Xavier Townsend does.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
But yeah. Oregon State gets blown out by Texas Tech, 45-14. Baron Morton, 23 of 35, 464, 4 touchdowns. Is this your? Are you jumping on the Texas Tech bandwagon?
I think they're the best team in the conference. I think you put up 67. Granted, it's against Arkansas Pine Bluff, but 67, 62 versus Kent State, and now 45 versus Oregon State. We'll find out. We'll find out here real quick as next week Utah plays Texas Tech. Yeah. But I think this is the best team in the conference.
The only thing I will say, we still don't know if their defense is any good. That's not to say it's not, but I don't think they've played anybody to find out if their defense is any good yet. So they might be. Like, with all the money they spent on defense, they might be really good. I just don't think we've seen them play anybody to find out if they're any good yet.
3 sacks, and well, in this one, 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 5 passes defensed, 2 picks, a fumble. No fumbles. I'm sorry. But I think Baron Morton is really good.
Yes, absolutely. Their offense is outstanding. Like, there is no question about that. But I'm not ready to put them at number 1 in the conference until we have more data on their defense. Is that fair?
Like I said, that's coming real quick. We'll find out next week against Utah which one of these teams is better.
Baylor 42-7 over Samford. They scored 35 in the first half and just kind of put it on cruise control. Robertson, their quarterback, Robertson, 211 yards, 23 of 37, 3 touchdowns. Washington, the running back, 21 for 135 and 2 scores. This wasn't a fair fight. You know, I'm not going to – you're up 35-7 at halftime. You did your job. Just get out of there without any injuries.
Backup Nate Bennett, he goes 5 of 7. So he was in there at least a lengthy amount of time, I would imagine. Probably handing off the ball more than he was passing. But, yeah, you did what you needed to do against Samford. I see nothing wrong with this one.
Backyard brawl. It was very backyard brawl like. The 2 teams came out super physical early, nothing after 1. The game was pretty wild from there. Goes into overtime. West Virginia wins it in overtime, 31-24. Eli Holstein, 22 of 37 for 303 yards and a touchdown for Pitt, but not enough. And good for Rich Rod. Good for Rich Rod to get that. He's from up there. Like, he understands what that means, how important it is to win that game, especially I think it's going away until like 2028 or 2029.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of schedules and what's open and what's not.
Right.
But kudos to West Virginia. I don't think they're very good, but they managed to hang in there. They showed some fight, and they get a win over Pitt.
I don't think we found out anything about West Virginia in this one.
I don't necessarily either.
I think we probably found out more about Pitt, and Pitt is not maybe Pitt's not very good. I mean, we kind of made the joke earlier about old Pat Narduzzi, but I don't know. I don't know how much longer he is going to hold that job, but Rich Rod needed this one badly to keep the ship at least where it's not underwater. They're just simply still bailing.
I mean, he's in year 1. They're gonna give him some rope, but this is one of those. No matter what happens the rest of the way this year, they're going to be able to point to that and go, we won the backyard brawl.
They have a flagship win, and at the end of the day, those count for something.
TCU 42-21 over Abilene Christian. It was 28-0 at halftime. Again, much like you see in Bowling Green last week, I'm not going to get too caught up in what happens down the stretch of a game that you have no chance to lose.
Yeah,
So Abilene Christian scored a couple times in the second half, but I mean, that's a comfortable win for a good TCU team that I think is, am I crazy, Aaron? I think I'm going to put like Utah 1, either Texas Tech or TCU 2-3, and then Iowa State 4.
I don't think that's crazy. But I think that so many people who do the voting and end up in the top 25 voting, they base a lot on last year, which I don't know what we're doing basing anything on last year.
Here's the problem with that is they do their first ballot, and the only way their ballot changes, if you lose, you move down. If you win, you move up, but nothing in between. There's no like nuance to watching games and saying, I think this team doesn't look as good as I think they were supposed to. Maybe I had them at 15, but I've watched them and they look more like 22, even though they're 3-0. Like, you know, I don't know. That's my problem with that initial poll. And look, Aaron, don't look now, but the Big 12 people are looking incredibly smart for not doing a preseason poll.
Yeah, because nobody in this era, especially in this era, you don't know anything about anyone.
Right.
You don't.
It would have been what? It would have been Arizona State and Kansas State, 1 and 2.
Yeah. And here we
Arizona
are. But
State doesn't look super impressive, and Kansas State stinks. And people would have looked at it and said, those are supposed to be the good teams, and they're not good. So the Big 12 is terrible. We're writing off the Big 12 for the rest of the year.
Stupid. Josh Hoover, though, goes 21-27, 337, and 4 touchdowns. I know I've said repeatedly I don't like the kid, but he continues to put up some pretty good numbers.
He's good. You're not like him. The kid can sling it. You just don't like Sonny Dykes. So by proxy, you don't like Josh Hoover.
That and the whole furry thing is still creeps me out.
And then finally, Arizona State 34-15 over Texas State. They were up 20-3 at halftime. Scored 14 in the third quarter. You're up 34-9. You're in control. I ain't mad at you. So, you know, Levitt, 15-25, 188, and 2 touchdowns. He has not looked great yet this year.
I agree. But old friend Shimon Mateer, 6 grabs for 60 yards and a touchdown. And Jordan Tyson, 6 grabs, 105 yards and a touchdown. Raleek Brown, though, he might be somebody to keep an eye on. 12 carries, 144 yards, and a touchdown. That's a great day.
That was the question, is what are they going to do to replace Cam Scadaboo? Raleek Brown seems to be kind of easing into that role. And maybe now if teams have to start paying more attention to him, then you'll see Levitt start to play a little bit more like he did last year. I think teams obviously came in this year and said, we got to stop Sam Levitt. They've done a pretty good job of that, but now Raleek Brown is getting moving. So let's see if they can use that to get on track.
Yeah, he's got 292 on the year, 2 touchdowns. I think he's, just like I said, somebody to keep an eye on.
Yeah. All right, there you go. That's going to wrap it up. We'll see you tomorrow night for the BBP. That is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, live from the Cincy Light Studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!